So much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, one thing I'll say is that the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, he has been out there. He has been on top of this, even going back to some of the flight collisions and things like that. Here is how he is kind of framing what's going on. I want you to hear it.
And again, Burbank, zero controllers came to work. I don't support that. They should come to work. They're supposed to come to work. But they
didn't miss a paycheck yet. So why aren't they coming to work? I mean, it's only been 6 days.
So, well, the paycheck, the pay cycle ended yesterday, right? Their paychecks come next week, and they see what's on the horizon, Brian. They're like, listen, do I see a resolution to the shutdown? I don't see it.
You can tell by the fact that he does not have an answer there. He's stuttering. He's falling all over himself. They know they're in the wrong here. This administration needs to reopen the government so that the American people can get back to business as usual. I flew in yesterday and we experienced delays. The holidays are coming up. This is going to continue to impact the American people.
But is the pain the point for Democrats? Meaning the more it looks like disarray, the more you were able to say, look, this is their fault.
Absolutely not. This government shutdown is about fighting for a budget that the American people deserve and fighting for health care. The Republicans control all three branches of government. They could reopen the government today if they did one thing that 78% of the American people support, and that is continuing to extend the ACA tax credits. You hardly get to a place of unanimity like that among the American electorate, yet 78% of the American people support it. So why wouldn't we fight for something that the American people want? But do you hear any
murmurings of a conversation? We heard the president sort of allude to the idea that Democrats are talking. Do you know anything?
I mean, look at what the president said yesterday. He knows this is a big deal. Premiums across the country could go up by as much as 75%.
But is there a conversation happening to end this crisis for Americans?
We are at the table. I am literally here in Washington because we were supposed to be voting this week. And I told my constituents I'm going to continue to show up, but they're not even at the table. This is not going to resolve unless Republicans show up. Respectfully, they're acting like children. I'm the mother of 2 boys, and my kids have better respect for the rules of negotiation, right? They need to be at the table, and they need to be talking about the ways that we can get this done.
Does it help to have someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene speak up for health care subsidies?
It helps to have anyone speak up for advocating for affordable health care for the American people. And certainly, you're seeing them in disarray. They're scrambling. The president is talking about addressing health care. Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about addressing health care. 78% of the American people are talking about addressing health care. Why wouldn't we do this?
Well, you're making it sound easy, but we're still at a standstill. So
we certainly are, but Republicans, again, I wish we had as much power as they think we have and are trying to hand over to us, but they control all 3 branches of government. Under what iteration of the facts, are we responsible for opening the government? It's just simply a matter of fact.
Okay. I want to turn to something else because there's another reason I wanted to talk to you. You're an immigration attorney by trade.
Yep.
You're also from Detroit.
And Grand Rapids.
But
Michigan,
sorry.
Yes, impacted by what the president is threatening in our state, for sure.
So getting to those threats, right? We are seeing Chicago, Portland, other places that are concerned about this. You've got leading figures in Michigan, a Senate candidate, Mike Rogers, who has actually urged Trump to send troops there. He said, the numbers don't lie. Detroit has become a hub for violent crime. The mayor of Detroit should be on the phone with the president now calling for that backup. I wanted to get your response to that because there are ways to somehow cooperate, right? Mm-hmm. Muriel Bowser here in D.C. Yep. Had conversations.
Sure.
What do you think about this?
First and foremost, our troops are not getting paid right now. They are working without the certainty of a paycheck, so let's prioritize the things that they should be doing, and that is not doing the personal bidding of the President of the United States and going into places where the governors and the leaders of those states are saying, hey, wait a second, we don't want you here, right? But I do absolutely think if there is a long-term conversation to be had about how we can use the National Guard in our cities for mayors and governors who want that to happen, then absolutely. But cooperation is key, and prioritizing the best use of our troops right now, especially while we're asking them to work without pay.
I want to ask you about one more thing. One of your colleagues, Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, has called for protesters to back away from ICE facilities. Here's a bit more of what she said. She said, I would argue that being down there, taking a risk, that you become a player in this reality TV vision that Donald Trump has, and in this case in Portland, is a mistake. And I want to ask you about that. You were an immigration attorney. Does it help or hurt for people to go and protest around ICE when the government is saying, leave these ICE guys alone?
Yeah, you know, I think that it is very important for the American people to make their voices heard about what they feel is happening, right? Protest is patriotic. Everyone has the right to make their voice heard. So I'm certainly not going to say, you know, people shouldn't be protesting, but the manner in which you do it and where you do it, you have to make sure that, you know, not only, you know, individuals can do their jobs unimpeded, but you have immigrants who are going to these facilities, you know, whether it's a detention facility or a hearing facility, and many have said that they feel afraid showing up to their appointments because there is, you know, so much activity and the potential for violence. So, you know, consider the fact that
the protest exacerbates that potential.
Not the protest inherently, right, but the potential for a conflict could be created there. So, you know, if people are going to show up and peacefully demonstrate, that is well within their right. And
are you concerned
right now,
at how the administration would treat people who are peacefully protesting?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have already seen it. We've seen children in, zip ties. We've seen people thrown to the ground. But at the same time, we can't allow ourselves to be intimidated by this administration. So I think people need to think about how to thoughtfully and peacefully make their voice heard in this moment. But the answer can simply not be to be silent in the face of what we see are such unconstitutional abuses of power.
All right, Congresswoman Hillary Scholten, thank you so much for being with us. We hope to have you back again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.